To estimate the file size, you need to work through a little calculation that involves 6 steps. You need to show your working in your exam answers for each of these 6 steps, because this is how you get your marks. And it also means that if you've got 6 steps, you know you've done things correctly. Now usually you get information in the question itself that tells you all of the details that you need to know, such as possible data types, field names, and number of records. But here in my example, I've got a little file, such as a spreadsheet, that I'd like to record 4 pieces of information, 4 fields about each student or record. I want the student's name. It hasn't specified first or last name here, so I'm going to assume both. An exam mark, an age, and their gender. So at step number 1, we need to write down all of the fields which we would get from an exam question that we've got available to us, such as the 4 that I've got here. Now at step 2, we need to come up with the maximum number of characters that we're going to allow for each field. We need to be reasonable in our considerations here, but one easy way to consider this is first of all to think about the data type that each field would use. So for example, student name is obviously going to be string. Exam mark, let's say in my mind I'm going to think this is an integer, just a whole number. The age, maybe I'm going to allow half years here or months, so I'm going to call that double. Could be integer as well. But gender is only ever Boolean. So bearing that in mind, if I just copy these field names down, drop that off, I'm going to allow a maximum of 30 characters here. It's quite generous, but that's because it hasn't indicated in the field name that it's first name or last name specifically. So I'm going to allow enough space, enough characters I should say, that could take both first and last name reasonably. Exam mark, well I'm thinking okay, let's assume they're percentages. I could get a maximum of 100%, so that's 3 characters. In my age, well, let's say I'm thinking high school students, so I'm looking at sort of 18, 19 would be my highest age available for my spreadsheet. So I'm going to have 2 characters here for age 18 or 19. And then my gender, that's always 1 character. You might record M for male or F for female. There's no need to record extra characters for the whole word male or female. M or F will do fine. So gender, being a Boolean field, is always 1 character. Now step 3, we need to add up the numbers that we got in step 2. So that's 30 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. 36. Now at step 4, we need to take that total, 36, and add 10% to it. That's our overheads for our file, such as the page number, the default file, font size and style, that sort of thing. It's data that's included in the file itself, but it's not data that we actually enter. It's just there by default. So 36 plus 10% equals 39. Now at step 5, we need to multiply this new total, 39, by the maximum number of records available, which would normally be indicated by the question. But let's imagine that we've got a maximum of 60 students available to have information stored in our spreadsheet. So we go 39 times 60 equals 2340. Hence you need a calculator in the exam. And then at step 6, you need to convert this number here, 2340, into kilobytes. And we do that by dividing that number from step 5 by 1024. the number of kilobytes in a megabyte. So 2340 divided by 1024 equals 2.285155625 on my calculator. So our final might be, let's round it up to 2 decimal places, 2.29 kilobytes. Notice that keep it rounded to a 2 decimal points, decimal places maximum, otherwise it's a bit silly, but you should also include the measurement. So KB is kilobytes. Your answer for these exams will always come out as kilobytes.